What is going on, people inside that internet machine? Welcome to this episode of the Pickups. Went to garage sales today. Got a bunch of games that were $1 a piece, which is incredible. And I'm thinking I'm going to tinker with the format a little bit of the show. That's all I got rolling. All right, so kind of what I was thinking is like, we do the pickup videos, and then it's like, that's cool. I love doing that. I love seeing what you guys are picking up. But I thought I would try and make this a little bit more of a show other than a pickup videos. We'll do the pickups, but like, I've got a couple topics of discussion, talk about things that are going on YouTube, what's kind of going on life-wise. So, yeah, we'll just start that now. So you guys let me know what you guys think of that in the comment section down below, how this is going to go. But yeah, so like last week I was at the Ohio Tactical Officers Convention in Sandusky. It's like a full week of training. It's they're long days of training, and then of course I'm used to having 3 days off because we work 10, so you get back Friday, and then you're off Saturday, and then you go back on Sunday night because I work third shift. But so having 1 day off kind of sucked. But it was good, And while I was at Kalahari, at the training, I don't really have anything to do. I take my Switch or my PSP or something every year and play games. But with all the stuff going on and the length of the day, it's like I just want to eat something and go to bed. But I was watching this thing on YouTube, a lot of YouTube videos about like underrated consoles, right? We talk about hidden gems, which are the games, but what are some consoles where it's like, man, that console is really underrated? And here's where we tie in other YouTubers, right? I'm talking about YouTube. I watched MT Shark, his pickup video. I'll leave a link to Mark's channel down below. Real nice guy and real knowledgeable about gaming. But, when you say what's the most underrated console of all time, the first console that really pops into my head every single time is the Sega Master System. A little nostalgia. I had one when I was a kid. We had it at my aunt and uncle's house. I didn't have it, but I wrote some things down. Like, it has a fun library of games. It's a nice alternative to the Nintendo. It's like familiar, It's got the 2 buttons in the D-pad and the zapper, and like the cartridges. It's kind of similar to it. It's familiar but new, I think I put fresh but familiar, yeah. And as a kid, it was nice to play different games. It's not like game collecting now. We had a handful of games, the kid across the street had a handful of games. Some were the same games. Everybody had Silent Service, right? Or Tecmo Bowl. But it was a joy to play those games that you never got to play, or didn't know they existed. Like, my aunt and uncle had a Sega Master System. I go over there and I love like Hang On and Safari Hunt, Aztec Adventure, Parlor Games, Choplifter. Those are games that you're not getting on Nintendo, and it was just really fun. It was really a real treat. But, the last couple of days have been crazy because it was half off at the thrift stores, like half off all their clothing stuff. So it's like Nike dry fits, normally $4, now they're $2. So I was buying and listing, and I've been doing a lot of that lately with my eBay store. I did hit 100 followers, which was awesome, but then somebody didn't follow me, so now I'm down to 99. So I'll leave a link to my eBay store if you want to follow me and get me over that 100 follower mark. Don't feel obligated to buy anything. But following is free. So, yeah. So, I'm kind of listening to YouTube, and GorTheMovieGod's video pops up. And, I love Gore's friend of the channel and everything. But he's doing a reaction video to DSP playing Super Mario Kart World. It's like every time DSP gets hit by something or misses like a power-up or a ring, it's the game's fault, And then you can tell that Gore has such disdain and dislike for DSP. You can just look at his face, like his micro expressions on his face, because he's sitting there and he's like, oh my God, get better at the game, you dumb fuck. You know what I mean? It's like, God, man, it comes out with such visceral intent, you know what I mean? But I thought that was hilarious. So If you want to check that out, I mean, Gore's got over 100,000 subscribers, but I'll leave a link to that video down below because it was a good reaction video to DSP playing Mario Kart World, or complaining about Mario Kart World. That's what he was actually doing. So like I said yesterday, I went out and did a lot of thrift stores, St. Vincent de Paul. There's 2 of them in my area. It was half off of all clothing items. And then, of course, every week there's a tag that's 99 cents. There's a tag that's 50% off. There's a tag that's 25% off. So, you know, on those days, there's like 3 or 4 of those a year, like maybe once every quarter. I'm usually in each of those stores for a good hour and a half, 2 hours each maybe. But yeah, really crazy. Only got one video game out of all the thrift stores that I went to. It's a Tony Hawk Shred Big Air. I've never played a Tony Hawk game ever. So if you had to play one Tony Hawk game, okay, let me rephrase that. For those of you that are familiar with the Tony Hawk franchise, if there's one Tony Hawk game that someone should probably play, you know, Underground or Tony Hawk whatever 2 or something, you know, if you only got to play one, which Tony Hawk game would it be? Because I've never played any of them and I have no clue. But yeah, Tony Hawk Shred Big Air Bigger Tricks, 99 cents at the thrift store. So like I said, yesterday was a lot of thrift stores. Man, I was up till like 3 in the morning cutting tags off this stuff, taking photos and getting stuff like ready for listing. But today was garage sale day. It was Friday, and definitely hit some garage sales. Now, I thought because garage sale season is starting to be in full swing for those of us that live in the north or in states where we have inclement weather, right? Some of you guys in the south get to do garage sales all year round. I'm pretty jelly. That makes me jelly. But I thought maybe I could share with you some tips that I use to try and be successful at garage sales. And if you have any other tips or tricks, leave it in the comment section down below, because you may be helping someone out. You know what I mean? And that's what we're here for. That's what the community is, since everybody wants to be in the community. All right, so I'll try and keep this quick, but you know I won't because I like to talk. Number 3, be observant, be willing to learn about other items, but know your limits. So like look for 25-cent bins, 50-cent bins. I'll get into that in a minute. You're not going to find garage sale or video game stuff or things that you're a subject matter expert in at every single garage sale. But I believe that at 90% of the garage sales, there is something there that you could buy and flip for a profit to put a couple dollars back into the video game fund so you could spend it on video games at a later date, right? So one thing that I do is I look for cheaper items that you know, like brands that you know that are cheap, that you can take a chance on. And if it doesn't work out, then, you know, you're really not out that much money. So today I was at a garage sale. They have a 25-cent box. I dig through it. There really wasn't anything at this sale. It was more of an older person sale. So a lot of Christmas items, you know, older people clothing, that kind of thing. And lo and behold, I'm not saying spend all day in these boxes, you know, because I'm not digging through 25-cent totes really, but if you see something, grab it. This is a pair of Prada reading glasses, right? Like everybody knows Prada as a brand. Need to clean that out. But yeah, they're just little reading glasses, not a big deal. 25 cents. I haven't even looked these up, but if they're only worth like $5 or $6, then there it is. But Prada's a brand that I know, and I'm willing to take a 25-cent chance on the Prada glasses. The other thing is, like, it may be a good deal, but what are you going to do with it when you get it home? Think about what you're going to do with these items. I typically stay away from glassware. Okay. I'm not interested in shipping it. And I'm not trying to be the best at storing glassware in my curio cabinet. Listen, that glassware, I tried that route once. I'd go to Goodwill and buy all these little crystal plates and, you know, punch bowl sets and whatever. They sat around forever. They don't sell. So unless you're an established seller in that market, it's probably not even worth your time. By the time you get it home, photo list it, take all the lowball offers on Marketplace, because I'm not willing to even ship it. Is the item outside the scope of your knowledge? We do video games and collectibles. I'm sure that there are some precious moments out there that are worth $10 or $15. And when you see them at a garage sale for $1, you should get them. The thing is, I'm not going to sit there and scan 2 totes worth of precious moments with my phone just to find the one that's worth $10 or $15. So could you learn which precious moments are expensive? Sure. But why waste your time when you could be hitting another sale or another sale or another sale? So knowing your the scope of your knowledge and knowing your limits. This sale, I'm not going to dig through any more of these boxes. I'm leaving. You know, those are things that you have to sort of take into account. So number 3, be observant and willing to learn about other items, but know your limits. So I think number 2 is probably the most important one. And if you guys watch my channel for any length of time, or you know me, you know I'm about to say relationships are important. That's right. Relationships are important. Your family relationships, your social relationships, your community relationships, and so are relationships at garage sales. Now, it is hard to build a rapport with somebody in like that short amount of time, but just remember, everybody write this down, good manners are free. So when you walk up to the sale, try to make eye contact and identify the person that's running the sale and say, good morning. Okay? Remember, you want these people to like you in the event that number 1 on the list happens. All right? So you have to try and build that instant rapport. I've seen this with my own eyes. A guy walked up to a garage sale, walked right up to the lady, was like interpersonal space, and he's like, do you have any old video games? And she's like, no. And then he turned around and walked away. And it's like, man, you know, I mean, like, I'm sure, you know, I don't know if I do that approach. So you walk up to the sale, you make eye contact, you say, good morning. Make eye contact, wave at, gesture at them. Let them know that you're acknowledging them, okay? Now, what do you then say next? Went to a garage sale today. Good morning, how are you? She had totes and boxes everywhere. So what do you say? Wow, you got a lot of stuff, right? Be excited for them about their own sale. And she's like, oh yeah, my son moved out and we got to be out of, we're downsizing. We got to be out of this house by the end of the month. He just told me to sell his eBay store. He didn't care, just get rid of it. So we're either going to get rid of it or today we're going to trash it or donate it or whatever. What does that information gathering tell you? That she is ready to sell and the person that owns this stuff doesn't care and wants it gone. And if you don't buy it, they're going to throw it away. So they're going to be willing to make deals, right? That's just by saying, hi, wow, you got a lot of stuff. That's all I got all that information from her. Or, you know, it's like, ask about an item, like, or say something about an item, like, oh man, I had this 1987 Little Pony thermos when I was a kid. That's crazy. I haven't seen one of those in years, right? Again, get excited about their items, right? Don't get hammy or cheesy, but then they're like, oh yeah, you know, my sister and I had that when I was a kid, and you know, it's just been sitting in a box for 10 years, so I just figured I'd get rid of it. Oh, okay, no problem. That's crazy. So again, relationship building and information gathering. And I'll show you how that worked out today and what information that I got. So I go to this garage sale. I've been there before. And I say to the lady, I say, hey, how you doing? She's like, good. Sort of in the afternoon. I was like, man, it's almost lunchtime. I can't believe it got this hot already. Blah, blah, blah. Right? We're talking. I said, hey, last time I was here, you had a bunch of DVDs over there under a tarp and it was raining. And she just kind of laughed. And she's like, yeah, we don't have any DVDs this time. And I'm like, okay. So I walk around. And I go into a box and I find this 1979 United States Marine Corps solid brass belt buckle. And I say, how much is this belt buckle? And she looks at it, she goes, oh, just give me $1. And I'm like, okay, no problem. I will take this $20 bill all day long. So I'm paying her and, you know, just kind of like chit chat. And I say, was somebody in your family in the military? And she goes, oh no, we just buy storage units and sell. Okay. Well, what information did you just get? That every time that person has a garage sale, you better stop because their inventory is going to be rolling over. You don't know which storage units that they bought. Now, as I go back to that sale more and more, I will introduce myself. I'll let her know I live like 5 streets down the road. I'll give her my business card with my name on it and say, hey, if you ever want to do some quick sales, you got any video game stuff, feel free to text me. You know, I'm off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know, I'll give her the whole spiel, the whole elevator pitch, right? We're not there yet, but it's good information gathering. So relationships are important and good manners are free. Number 1, always ask Always ask. Whatever it is you're looking for. I've heard people at garage sales ask, hey, do you have any broken gold or silver? I wouldn't even know what to pay for something like that. You know what I mean? Like if somebody brought out like a broken 10-carat necklace, like how do you. So anyway, always ask. Where there is smoke, there is fire. Where there are video game things, there are typically more video games, even if they are not out. So look for like that errant console that's in a box, or controller that's in a box even. Do they have Mario Kart pajamas for kids laying out? They have, Sonic the Hedgehog socks. Hey, I saw you had these Sonic the Hedgehog socks. Do you have any old video game stuff? Ask, right? And when they say, they'll either say no, and that's okay, but at least you asked. I can't tell you, this Sharp NES TV, I got this because I asked. He had some PS4 stuff. I said, you got any older stuff? He goes, well, yeah, we got this NES TV in the basement. I said, you have a Sharp NES TV in the basement? Yeah, we go down there. He tells me the story about how his dad had a rent-a-center in Piqua, Ohio, and this was on the counter, and his dad died. So, and then he sold it to me for $50 with some games. So, how about that? But, yeah, always ask. Now, what do you do when they say, we do, but, we still play our Wii? No problem. Then we're not going to badger these people for the rest of the day, but always ask a follow-up. This is a very good follow-up question to ask because I've gotten people to bring games out of their house by asking this one question. Oh, that's cool. Right. Again, get them excited about their items. You know what I mean? Like, I can't understate that. It's a skill, too. You have to work at it. But say, oh, yeah, the Wii's great. I play Wii with my daughter. Don't lie, but relate it. Yeah, I still play Wii with my daughter. Hey, do you get any games that maybe you don't play that you'd sell, or games that are scratched that don't play? I'd probably buy those because I can get them resurfaced, maybe try and fix them. And they say no, then that's game over. But if they go in and grab some items, then there you go. Someone brought out that exact same thing happened a couple years ago. I was looking at some baseball bats. I asked about video games. She said, we still play our Wii. I said, do you have any games that you don't play or that don't work? And they brought out a copy of like Mario Kart and Wii Sports, and they were all scratched up. How much you want for them? How about $5 for the pair? No problem. You know what I mean? Like, you always gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't take no for an answer, but ask. Always, always ask. And that is a perfect lead-in. That's why I wrote it that way. Perfect lead-in for this stack of games right here. So I go to the garage sale, right? And there's some games, in the bin. They're not in great condition. There's not really a lot of stuff. It's like mixed match. You'll see if there's some PS4 stuff, a couple Xbox One, PS3, PlayStation 1 game. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of random. And I didn't notice it when I walked up, but there's a couple totes of like consoles. Over here, some games and some Xbox 360 consoles and some of those little milk crates. It all looks like dog shit. So I'm thinking, I'll do the bare minimum and get out of here. I asked her how much she wanted for the game. She said $1. Guy walks up behind me. He asked about like an Xbox One. I don't have a controller, doesn't have an HDMI cable. So I'm just trying to get rid of it. So like, how about like $30? So he gets and he leaves. So I'm looking at these games, and there's like 2 Xbox One games. So I say, hey, you just sold that Xbox One to that guy, but there's only 2 games here. Do you happen to have more Xbox One games? Oh, yeah. So he goes into the house and grabs a USPS priority mail box, like not a mailbox, but a priority mail box of Xbox One games. And since we've already established that they're $1 a piece, guess how many old CM Retro bought? It rhymes with all of them. For $1? Hell yes. So let's take a look at what we got now. Unfortunately, these were cases only. So he sold these to me for $1 for all of them. So for 25 cents a piece. So WWE 2K18, Spider-Man, NBA 2K17, and Dying Light. Cases only, no big deal. Here we go. These games were so destroyed, the cases were so destroyed that these are just going to be the disc and the case. I'm going to have to throw away the cover art. And the first one's kind of a bummer because I actually wanted this one. The 7 Deadly Sins, I guess it's an anime. but you can see it's all water damaged and gross. These were in a box in a garage or a basement, and they have that like tinge to them. You know what I mean? Like there's just a layer of dirt on them, so I'll have to clean all that off. But that's a bummer. I'll keep the disc for that, and I'll clean all these cases because you can never have too many Xbox One and PS4 cases. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, unfortunate, because that's an awesome game. Tony Hawk Skate, or is this just Skate? I don't think it's Tony Hawk. So Skate 3, again, disc only. Hate to see Dragon Ball Z games get all messed up because, you know, people love their Dragon Ball Z games and they sell. Xenoverse 2, again, that'll just be a disc only. And then when I saw this one, I was like, okay, no big deal. Dragon Ball Fighter Z. And I thought, well, it's just the cover art. You know, disc is fine. But then I looked at the spine and it's like, you can see it's all like ripped and chewed up there. And then I got it out and it's all like starting to come apart. It's just not in great shape. You know what I mean? So, yeah, unfortunate. Just discs only, and I'll save the cases. The rest of it's going to get pitched. Although this 360 case might have some value. Good 360 cases are hard to find. All right, one random PlayStation 3 game, Tomb Raider. These guys love their Tomb Raiders. Hey, Tomb Raider's awesome. I'm going to try and save this one because this is the Walmart exclusive one. I have this game, but, you know, it's got the inserts and everything. It just needs to be cleaned. You know what I mean? It's just got that tinge to it. A couple PS4 games here. Knack 2. Look at GameStop with these stickers are obnoxious. GameStop. Why is that tape on it? Whatever. Knack 2. Mighty Number 9, a game that I tried. I couldn't really get into. Look, you can see how nasty these cases are. Look. Oh, God, I don't even want to touch it. But it's got everything in there. It's got, like, the poster and everything in there. So we'll get that cleaned off. This is either going to be really good or really bad. This was underneath those Xbox consoles. And, like, 3 of the discs were out of the case and under the consoles. But I'm going to have to take this all apart, throw out this case, find another PS1 case that has 4 spots for it. But you can see these discs are fudged up. So I think that I can resurface them and maybe find a home for that. If not, I might have to buy one off the internet machines. All right, so here we go. This is the bulk of what I bought. We got a squeaky chair. Okay. So we got Borderlands 3, the collector's edition thing. I don't know if this has a slipcover to it. I'll probably just trade that in. Not a big deal. A game that I already have in the collection, so I'm going to resell it, is Killer Instinct, the Combo Breaker Pack. Rareware, man. Battletoads in that one. Oh, yeah. Then we have Assassin's Creed Unity, Origins, and Syndicate. So, again, if there's one Assassin's Creed out there, just like Tony Hawk, that someone should play, which Assassin's Creed game should they play? If they can only play one for the rest of their life. I started to play Origins. I don't know. Maybe we'll start it up again. Call of Duty. Modern Warfare. Don't care. Far Cry Primal. Ugh, did I mention these need to be cleaned? Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I think this had something in here. Oh no, it just has a couple inserts, which is nice. We need a case replacement for this one, which should be pretty easy. Batman, the Telltale series. Well, a game with a lot of promise. You know what I mean? Like, I like the way this started. And then, like, the first mission's like the Riddler. And then game kind of goes flat after that. Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. Halo 5. Guardians. Don't play Halo. I do want to play the first one. I think that's the one to play, right? Halo 1. And then Rise of the Tomb Raider. If you've never played these modern Tomb Raider games by Crystal Dynamics, man, you're missing out. They're really, really good. And then I've got 6 games I'm going to add to the collection. I wrote a sticky that says I'm going to add them to the collection. So I love Titanfall 2. I can't wait. I'm actually really hyped to play this. This is the first Titanfall game. MC Mur sent me PS4 version of Titanfall 2. Loved it. I live streamed it. Can't wait, man. And I'm not really first-person shooter guy, but yeah, can't wait to... it's going to be great. This case is dirty, but I'm definitely going to keep this one. Fallout 4. I've never played a Fallout game. My middle son says it's good. It has the insert and like the poster thing. So it's super complete, although it is filthy. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot? Kakarot? I don't know. I don't play Dragon Ball Z. But this is probably the game that's in the nicest condition when it comes to the spine and the cover art and everything else. Definitely throwing this one in the collection. Grid Legends. Now, this was done by Codemasters, who, of course, does the Formula 1 games now. And from what I understand, I watched one review, and it's kind of like a Formula 1 where there's a progressive story mode, and you kind of race different vehicles in each one of the stories. So that'll be cool. Resident Evil 2 Revelations. I don't know why I'm keeping that. I never play Resident Evil games. Really cool to add this one to the collection. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. It's got the Mega Man right there. Everybody loves Mega Man. That's X. It's got X right there. X going to give it to you. Yeah, so not a bad haul. $1 a piece. It ended up being like 28 bucks, so I just gave her 30. So I paid up a little bit. Not a scumbag reseller. Give the lady $2 more bucks. So, you know, not bad. I'm going to be adding 6 games to the collection. All right, so let's round this out. Just one more thing. I posted on the community tab. I'm thinking about doing the trade show on Saturday, August 23rd, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So last year I did like 3 or 4 videos of all the stuff that I had. I'm not doing that this year. I might do one of the stuff I'm bringing. But if you're looking for something specific and you're going to be at the trade show, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you're looking for. If it's PS4 stuff, PS1 stuff, whatever. And I'll try and dig some stuff out that I would be willing to trade. And I'll show it off in that one video that I'm probably going to do somewhere around the end of July, 1st of August, somewhere in there. But yeah, I'm starting to build up a nice little tote of some stuff to trade. I will bring some games like Car Battler Joe, you know, a couple $100 games. But, you know, let's just say this game's worth like 10 to 20 bucks. I'm going to pick out a bunch of these types of games. So that's a little bit more doable for people to trade. You know, they want a $10 game and you want one of their $10 games. You know, it's sometimes hard when you have a $100 game and they want to trade you like $10 games. You're like, you know what I mean? So I have plenty of trade fodder, stuff like that. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope your garage sale season is going awesome. Please like, comment, subscribe, share on social media. Don't forget to bang that notification bell so you can stay up to date on all of your CM Retro gaming goodness. Guys, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you on the next one.